just keep doing these things that all of these successful, wise people have said, and it just continues to work out and get better and better and better. And the one that was so prevalent, that came up so many times, was gratitude. Holy smokes. It's terrifying, absolutely terrifying how awesome gratitude can be. So, Mr. Ferriss, I wanted to welcome you to my shop. And this is the very beginning of a very important stage of my life. And I wanted to take the moment because I just finally got power to the shop and heat. And this is such a huge step for me in the lifestyle design that I've got. I've decided to start a little series, or whatever you want to call it, on writing thank you letters to the people that have been really influential in my life. And so, Mr. Ferriss, you are the very first one that I would like to thank. Before I start, I just want to reiterate, I am a pretty terrible writer, hence the video. I will do my best to read / interpret / narrate / edit on the fly my thank you letter to you. So with no further ado, I shall begin. Dear Mr. Tim, I wasn't sure how to address you. Mr. Ferriss seemed a little bit too formal. Tim seemed a little bit too casual. Dear Mr. Tim, thank you. That's all. Just kidding. Dear Mr. Tim, thank you for all the effort you've put in. From the books, to the interviews, to all the research that you've done. Thank you for putting it in such a way that it's easy to consume. Thank you for setting an example that you don't have to do things the conventional way. Thank you for the openness to share the keys to your success, the vulnerability to show your failures, struggles, and shortcomings. And thank you for what seems to be your eagerness to help others. Thank you for the inspiration to live big. And most importantly, thank you for the concept of lifestyle design. It's because of that I can sit here now with this cheesy grin, because I actually know what contentment is, I actually have joy, and my life is more fulfilling than it ever has been. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. Actually, it took a while for me to admit what I wanted to do with my life. Actually, it took me achieving my mediocre end goals for life in my late 20s, which led me to realize that it wasn't what I wanted at all. I then fell into an alcohol-fueled depression, preceded by a 2-year quarter-life crisis. Well, we all have to get there our own ways, right? I look back now and realize that through this whole quarter-life crisis, I was obsessing over my lifestyle design, which, ironically now, I realize I was simultaneously achieving. So, quick synopsis of my quarter-life crisis. Started out by selling everything, including my business, equipment, clothing, tools, and vehicles. Then, proceeding to do the only thing that I could find strength to even get out of bed for, and that was traveling. I put the few things left that I cared about in a camper that I built in my truck, hit the road, and totaled it a few months later. That was the last material thing that I cared about. From there, I ended up buying a one-way ticket to Hawaii, lived in a shipping container for a few months until I bought another one-way ticket to Mexico. That's where I partied in hostels for the first time, realized that I was still capable of love, and gained a new appreciation of life after fighting off of a mugger and having a brick thrown at me from a passing motorcycle. While I was nursing the stitches from that mugging, I decided I was gonna walk across my home state. After taking a month-long walk to clear my head, I still had no idea how to be happy. So, I decided to sacrifice the last tiny shred of perceived dignity that I was grasping onto from my former life. I decided to buy a van and go live down by the river. So that's what I did, and I became a kayak guide. Eventually, I ran out of money, again, and had to get a real job, again. Fortunately, after just a few months as a manager in a warehouse, working 50 to 70 hours a week at my desirable career job that society told me that I should be happy for, COVID saved me from that. So, with my tail firmly between my legs, I meandered to the desert to paint a couple buildings and devise a plan to not go back to the normal 9 to 5. After weeks of agonizing over what career would make good money and not make me miserable, the same damn question I've been trying to figure out my entire adult life, I was still clueless and once again felt hopeless and defeated. Knowing without question that I couldn't subscribe to the whole deferred retirement plan, I was finally able to buy into the whole lifestyle design and make the decision to change my life forever. I wasn't gonna worry about money anymore. I was finally able to accept or admit that I knew that this decision had been right for me all along. Money could not be the driving factor for my life decisions anymore. The acceptance of the fact that I couldn't let money be my driving factor anymore was the realization of the lifestyle that I wanted to design. It's getting a little cold, I'm a slow reader. It's gonna be roaring here in a minute. I knew the lifestyle that I wanted, and it had nothing to do with money. That was the first of a few perspective shifts that I've been blessed with recently. And I am so truly grateful for you and the work that you've done, for giving me the tools and the confidence to pursue a fulfilling life. As I write this letter / script for a video, I realize / admit that there's a little bit more to this letter than just a thank you for the tools and the inspiration to change my life. It's an attempt to do that very thing. The thing I remember having the biggest initial impact from the 4-hour work week was the challenge you gave to contact someone famous. I think I knew instantly that someday I was going to use that as an attempt to get a hold of you. Apparently, today's that day. Although I feel like a complete imposter, totally arrogant and possibly delusional for what I'm about to say, you could consider this a very uncomfortable conversation. It could be the single most important thing that I need to do with my life right now. This could make everything easy. This could help me accomplish my 10-year goals in 6 months. So I have to say it. I believe that my fulfilling life, and for sure the lifestyle that I am trying to design, is very similar to the life that you're already living. Lots of successful people say you should find a mentor that's already done what you want to do. But I feel it's unreasonable for me to just come out and ask you to mentor me, so I won't. But let's just say, if you did feel so inspired to offer a mentorship that might blossom into a mutually beneficial lifelong friendship, I would probably accept it. Just saying, but that's not what I'm after, and I wouldn't ask that. I will ask for one little piece of advice though. Because of some of the perspective shifts that I've been blessed with recently, I have a few ideas that I feel obligated to share. One of those ideas I'm calling exponential income, which is just basically a theory on how to replace the whole deferred retirement plan based almost exclusively on your lifestyle design. In my mind, that idea has all the bones to be a great book, but I'm actively working on what I think is a bigger idea. It actually includes exponential income, but I think it's way more important. That's the idea I'd like to ask for advice on. Currently, it's in the form of an online course in pre-sale stage. The course is called Don't Take a Leap. It's supposed to be a guide to pursue a more fulfilling life through financial independence outside of a traditional business. Basically, it's the tools, processes, and ideas that I've used or am using to design my fulfilling life. So the advice that I'm looking for is, when or how do you know when an idea is best suited for a book? And maybe for a bonus tip, what advice do you have for writing a best-selling book? Now, I've always heard it said that you shouldn't ask for something without having something to offer a person in exchange. Admittedly, it's pretty difficult to come up with something I have to offer a successful, wealthy entrepreneur and best-selling author that has seemingly achieved all these things by having all the answers already. So I will offer the one thing I have that perhaps you might not already have. I know money can't buy it, and I actually don't think that there are very many people that can offer it. As odd as it feels, I can humbly but confidently offer fulfillment. There's a caveat when it comes to fulfillment though. It's not something that can be given, and so therefore I can't guarantee anyone will find it. But I will guarantee that everyone that tries these methods, and they aren't new, will find fulfillment in whatever quantities they want. Bold statement, I know, but what if it was easy? Perhaps one day we can discuss this over a cup of coffee, but I'm sure you're tremendously busy uncovering the secrets of the universe for the betterment of our world, and so I completely understand if you do not have time to respond to this letter, which was never the point in the first case. Truly, the only agenda that I have for this letter is to thank you for the tremendously positive impact your work has had on my life. So thank you again. Regards, Seth. All right, note to self, birthday candles are not meant to seal a letter. I wouldn't recommend it. It's done, finished, sealed. You can see labeled ready to go. Unfortunately, I don't have your address. So, for the time being, I decided to put this in a real envelope instead of my childhood craft project for safekeeping until the day that I get an address or have the pleasure of giving it to you in person. For the time being, I'll just sit here working on my online course and pursuing my fulfilling lifestyle thanks to your lifestyle design, and continue to try to get a hold of you so that you have the pleasure of reading this masterpiece. If you happen to not be Mr. Ferriss and watch this video, hit that subscribe button for me, would ya? All right, man, that's like the best I got. After analyzing and trying to do a 3-part narrative and script and the funny and all of that, like, that's the best I got. I am still trying to figure this video thing out. I'm so bad at doing writing and scripts. Like, this took me so long. But this is an actual letter I wrote. It's terrible. It needs to be re-edited. I literally did try to seal it with birthday candles, which don't try that. But honestly, after just recording that the other day, man, I know it's just not natural for me. So I'm gonna do what I do best, which is just ramble, talk and ramble. Obviously, I think you probably get that this video, this letter is a little bit more than just getting you this letter. This ridiculous construction paper with Sharpie scribbled note, this little thing right here, I really do believe could absolutely be the thing that changes my life. This is my attempt of me being sincere. This is my attempt of just showing like I am working best that I can. My attempt to just make my realities come true. Trying to go from a know-it-all, which is just somebody who's read all the books, to do-it-all, to somebody who actually applies the things in my life. I finally just decided to do the whole lifestyle design thing, and it's been absolutely incredible. I just keep doing these things that all of these successful, wise people have said, and it just continues to work out and get better and better and better. And the one that was so prevalent, that came up so many times, was gratitude. And holy smokes, that one was absolutely, it's terrifying, absolutely terrifying how awesome gratitude can be. I really did just want to take the time to give you my honest, earnest gratitude as sincerely as I possibly can, man. From the bottom of my heart. You've been a huge inspiration to me, just as far as the books that you've written, the knowledge that you have given to all these other people, the experiences you have, just being open and honest, sharing your vulnerabilities, sharing your successes. It's really inspiring, man. And honestly, there's no way I could have gotten to where I'm at without your concepts. I would absolutely love to be able to inspire one single person the way that you've inspired me, because from where I was to where I am now is just absolutely phenomenal. And if I could be blessed with the ability to just bring one person from where I was to where I am now, the way you helped me do that, it would be the fulfillment of a lifetime. I did, jokingly ask for a mentorship. That's ridiculous. I don't deserve one at this point in time. I really do think mentors are the key to success. Might as well go to the people that know what they're doing and have already done it and just do what they do. I've already been doing it through your books, so I might as well just take it one step further. I'm not asking you for a mentorship, but dude, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I hope I get to meet you someday. I really do. And I totally understand if not, because you've got tons of stuff to do, and I'm sure you get all of these invites and all of these requests constantly. So there it is. If you take nothing else from this, please just know somebody is incredibly grateful for you. You've absolutely made an unbelievably positive impact in my life. So thanks, dude.